Hello! My name is Leo and welcome to another reading of the Elder Scrolls. Today we're going to be reading Vernaccus and Bourlor by Tavi Dromio. The fourth book, well, alphabetically, by Tavi Dromio and starring our good friends Halgrid, Ziamara, and the other guy whose name I forgot. Gareth! That's the other guy. Yeah. Halgrid walked into the king's ham that horrendous evening. His face was... maybe this is like the first book. This might be the first book. His face clouded with sadness. While he ordered a mug of grief, his mates... yeah, this is like the first book. I should have read this first. Whatever. Who knows? How was I supposed to know? His mates Gareth and Ziamara joined him with moderately sincere concern. "What's wrong with you, Halgrid?" asked Ziamara. "You're later than usual, and there's a certain air of tragedy you've dragged in with you. Have you lost money, or nearest and dearest?" "I haven't lost any money," Halgrid grimaced. "But I've just received word from my nephew that my cousin Axel is dead. Perfectly natural, he says. Just old age." "Wait, your nephew? No, cousin. Axel was 10 years younger than me." Well, that would make anyone depressed. Who's talking right now? Gareth. "Oh, that's terrible. But it goes to show that it's important to save all of life's possibilities. 'Cause you never know when your time's coming," said Gareth, who had been sitting at the same stool at the Smoky Corner Club for the last several hours. He was not one cursed with self-awareness. "Life's short, all right," agreed Ziamara. "But if you'll pardon a sentimental thought, few of us are aware of the influence we'll have after our deaths. Perhaps there's comfort there. For example, have I told you the story about Vernaccus and Bourlor?" "Wait, oh my god, no! Is Ziamara going to tell the story?" "Oh no, now I got to do the thing as Ziamara." Oh, what have I done? I know, because Halgrid, Halgrid started off being this, like, rough, Solid Snake voice, but I'm like, oh, I'm not doing the whole book like that. Thank God, because I did 3 books with him being the main voice of the, thing. But now, so I just made him my normal voice. "I don't believe so," said Halgrid. Okay. How do you want to do this? How do you want to play this? How many pages is this thing? It's like 17 pages. Can we just make Ziamara my voice? "Done. Vernaccus was a daedra," said Ziamara, throwing a few dribbles on Flynn. I think that's meant to be dribbles of Flynn on the hearth to cast the proper mood. "And though our tale took place many, many years ago, it would be fair to say that Vernaccus still is one. For what, after all, is time to the immortal daedra?" "Actually," Gareth interrupted, "I understand that the notion of immortality..." "I'm trying to offer our friend an inspirational tale in his hour of need," Ziamara growled. "I don't have all bloody night to tell it, if you don't mind." "You wouldn't have heard of Vernaccus," said Ziamara, abandoning the theme of immortality for the time being. "For even at the height of his power and fame, he was considered feeble by the admittedly high standards of the day. Of course, this lack of respect infuriated him, and his reaction was typical of lesser daedra. He went on a murderous rampage. Soon word spread through all the villages in the Clovian West of the unholy terror. Whole families had been butchered, castles destroyed, orchards and fields torched and cursed so nothing would ever grow there again. To make things even worse for the villagers, Vernaccus began getting visitations from an old rival of his from Oblivion. She was a dangerous seducer named Horvatha, and she delighted in taunting him to see how angry she could make him become. Who's talking? You flooded a village, so that's supposed to be impressive? She would sneer. Try collapsing a continent, and maybe you'll get a little attention. Vernaccus could become pretty angry. He didn't come very close to collapsing the continent at Tamriel, but it wasn't for lack of trying. A hero was needed to face the Mad Daedra, and fortunately, one was available. His name was Bourlor, and it is said that he had been blessed by the goddess Kinnereth. That was the only explanation for his inhumane accuracy with his bow and arrow, for he never missed a target. As a child, he had driven his marksmanship tutors wild with frustration. They would tell him how to plant his feet, how to knock a bolt, the proper grip for the cord, the best method of release. He ignored all the rules, and somehow, every time, the arrow would catch a breath of wind and sail directly to his target. Like the Patriot arrow in Robin Hood Men in Tights. Oh man, good movie. Anyway. It didn't matter if the quarry was still moving or still at very close range or miles away. Whatever he wanted to strike with his arrow would be struck. Alright. Intermission. For a little sippy sips of water. Bourlor answered the call when one of the village mayors begged him for help. Unfortunately, he was not as great a horseman as he was an archer. As he rode through the forest toward the mayor's town, a place called Evascum, Vernaccus was already murdering everyone there. Horvatha watched and stifled back a yawn. Is she still talking? Yes? Yeah. Wait, what was her voice again? Murdering a small town mayor isn't gonna put you in famous company, you know. What you need is a great champion to defeat. Someone like Yzgamor, Perennial White Strike, or... She stared at the figure emerging from the forest. That fellow! Who is he? Growled Vernaccus, between bites of the mayor's quivering body. Damn. The greatest archer in Tamriel. He's never missed. Bourlor had his bow strung and was pointing it at the Daedra. For a moment, Vernaccus felt like laughing. The fellow was not even aiming straight, but he had a well-honed sense of self-preservation. There was something about the man's look of confidence that convinced the Daedra that Horvatha wasn't lying. As the bolt left the bow. Wait, you don't call arrows bolts. Bolts are for like crossbows. Yeah, but that's like game logic. But this is in a video game. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Anyway, as the bolt left the bow, Vernaccus vanished in a sheet of flame. The arrow impaled a tree. Bourlor stood and stared. He had missed a target. In Oblivion, Vernaccus raged. Fleeing before a mortal man like that. Not even the basest scamp would have been so craven. That's actually not true. They ran away from me a lot. But anyway. He had exposed himself for the weak, cowardly creature that he was. As he considered what steps to take to salvage the situation, he found himself face to knee with the most fearsome of Danger princes, Moloch Baal. "I never thought anything much of you, Vernaccus," the giant boomed. "But you have more than proven your worth. You have shown the creatures of Mundus that the Daedra are more powerful than the blessings of the gods." Not true, but whatever. The other denizens of Oblivion quickly agreed, as they always did, with the views of Moloch Baal. The Daedra are, after all, always very sensitive about their various defeats at the hands of mortal champions. Vernaccus was proclaimed the elusive beast, the unpursuable one, he who cannot be touched, the bane of Kennereth. Well, what, because he ran away? That's nice. Shrines devoted to him began to be built in remote corners of Morrowind and Skyrim. Bourlor, meanwhile, now found flawed, was never again called to rescue a village, 'cause he missed one shot. That's bullshit. He was so heartbroken over his failure to strike his target that he became a hermit, and never restrung his bow ever again. Some months later he died, unmourned and unremembered. That's kind of sad. "Is this really the tale you thought to cheer me up?" asked Hagrid incredulously. "I've heard the King of Worms told more inspirational stories." "Wait!" smiled Zuma. "I'm not finished yet." For a year's time, Vernaccus was content to watch his legend grow and his fledgling worship spread from his home in Oblivion. He was, in addition to being cowardly and inclined towards murderous rages, also a very lazy creature. His worshippers told tales of their master avoiding the bolts of 1,000 archers, of moving through oceans without getting wet. What? Actually, I did watch that video on YouTube about that weird powder that's like anti-water, and if you put the powder in like a beaker and then stick your hand into it, your hand will be dry. Yeah, it's really cool. They should really make like waterproof shit out of that. I'm pretty sure they have. But anyway, yes, moving through oceans without getting wet, and other feats of avoidance that he would rather not have to demonstrate in person. The real story of his ignoramus retreat from Bourlor was thankfully forgotten. The bad news, when it came, was delivered to him with some relish by Hoethra. He had delighted in her jealousy at his growing reputation, so it was with a cruel smile she told him, "Your shrines are being assaulted." "Who dares?" he roared. "Everyone who passes them in the wilderness feels the need to throw a stone," Hoethra purred. "You can only blame them. After all, they represent he who cannot be touched. How could anyone be expected to resist such a target?" Vernaccus peered through the veil into the world of Mundus and saw that it was true. One of his shrines in Colovian West Country... Wait, West Country? I can't do a West Country accent, so don't even ask me. Unless that's what my weird accent for Galvus is. I don't know. I'm not really sure. But anyway, was surrounded by a large platoon of mercenary soldiers who delighted in pelting it with rocks. His worshippers huddled inside, praying for a miracle. In an instant he appeared before the mercenaries, and his rage was terrifying to behold. They fled into the woods before he even had a chance to murder one of them. His worshippers threw open the wooden door to the shrine and dropped to their knees in joy and fear. His anger melted. Then a stone struck him. Uh-oh. Then another. He turned to face his assailants, but the air was suddenly filled with rocks. Uh-oh. Vernaccus could not see them, but he heard mercenaries in the woods laugh. He's not even trying to move out of the way. It's impossible not to hit him, guffawed another. With a roar of humiliation, the Daedra bounded into the shrine, chased by the onslaught. One of the stones knocked the door closed behind him, striking him in the back. His face broke. Anger and embarrassment disappeared, replaced by pain. He turned, shaking, to his worshippers who huddled in the shadows of the shrine, their faith shattered. The wood is from Kenurith, that's why! Where did you get the wood to build this shrine? Vernaccus groaned. Most of the corpse of trees near the village of Eveskon, his high priest shrugged. Vernaccus nodded. He dropped forward, revealing the deep wound on his back. A rusted arrowhead buried... The arrow that was stuck in a tree! Oh, that's awesome. A rusted arrowhead buried in a wall in the wood of the door had jolted loose in the assault and impaled him. The Daedra vanished in a whirlwind of dust. The shrines were abandoned shortly thereafter, though Vernaccus did have a brief resurgence as the patron saint of limitations and impotence before fading from memory altogether. The legend of Bourlor himself never became very well known either, but there are still some who tell the tale, like myself. And we have the advantage of knowing what the great archer himself didn't know on his deathbed. His final arrow found its target after all. Oh, what a happy ending. So that was Vernaccus and Bourlor by Talvi Dromio, and the last book by Talvi Dromio. Next we'll be reading some other garbage. This has been another reading of the Elder Scrolls. Wait. I wanted to talk about something. Okay. I wanted to talk about day-by-day playthroughs. Oh. So, next week... Wait, I don't know when this is coming out. Oh, wait, shit. Right, this is coming out like 2 months in advance. You're right. Because I recorded a bunch of them. And I try to do them like one a day or whenever I can. But yeah, I'm still 2 months in advance. Well, I was just thinking, maybe doing a Skyrim VR day-by-day playthrough starting in August, or whenever Skyrim starts. I'm down. That'll give you plenty of time to rest until, Well, August is closer than you think, dude. That's true. Hey, think about when this video comes out. Oh shit, this video will come out like the end of July. So, it'll almost be August. Oh shit. You're absolutely right. When does Skyrim actually start? Okay, let me check. Let me just check. Because yeah, the days and the dates match up this year. That's the only real reason why I wanted to do it. Although I don't know what happened next February, but that's irrelevant. When's this video going to come out? I don't know. I guess the end of August or the beginning of August? Anyway, yeah, Skyrim starts on the 17th of August. So, we might be doing Skyrim. I haven't decided yet, but, yeah. So, that only gives me like 2 months to rest. Yeah. And you've still got all these book readings to do. Fuck. Oh, man. Wow, that's nuts. I got way too much stuff to do. Alright. Well, we'll see. But anyway, this has been another reading of the Elder Scrolls. But for now, my name is Leo, and I'll see you next time.